It's been a few evenings since we last left off. An Elysium with the prince and new announcements and revelations for the Camarilla of Chicago. Of course, the Lysanders meeting with a newer ally and helping her determine her next steps to recover her coterie mate. And before leaving, speaking with father and learning his status on everything that he feels about his children. And then the family reunion, at least between the three siblings of the Lysander coterie. Revelations of what happened in the nights past with Thea and many other things. And of course, learning of the threats from your father, who spoke that you're all on borrowed time. Time is running short, my children, according to your father, and you've chosen defiance over compliance. Now, after your last meeting between the three of you and the discussions that came from that, you all continue on your own ways as usual in the following nights. Our three Lysanders, though they are siblings by blood, in Vitae, they are completely different and have different goals, ambitions, and things that they take care of for each evening. And tonight, for the three of you, I would like you all just to make me a rouse check and let me know what your current hunger levels are at.
I failed, and I am at 3 hunger.
Okay.
I succeeded. I am at 1 hunger.
Okay.
I failed. I'm at 4 hunger.
Okay. Making a note. 1 hunger. Okay. Let's start for the evening with Willow. Willow, for tonight, as you rouse and you feel the hunger, the pangs of hunger, more strong than the previous nights. It's no longer just a faint gnaw, but a more writhing annoyance in your head that you can't quite get out. And you know that tonight you likely should probably feed. So you head to your usual stomping grounds, your usual feeding grounds of the university. I assume, Willow, you would want to maybe feed for the evening, unless
Yes.
you just want to live life on the edge.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would today.
So just go ahead and roll me your Scene Queen hunting predator pool, which I believe is manipulation and persuasion.
It is. Get the little roly poo. Actually, not great considering the pool size too. 2 successes.
With 2 successes, you find somebody within the university limits, and you do feed on them, only sating 1 dot of hunger for the evening.
Fair.
But better than nothing.
Oh, thanks, Coldre.
Oh,
Thank you
thanks,
so much.
Coldrake. Thank you for the support.
And
Much
the
appreciated.
sub earlier. Yeah, thank you for the sub and the donation.
Thank you, Cole.
Thank you. So, Willow, after you feed and you begin exploring some areas of the University of Chicago, you run into a familiar face again. Somebody who you actually just saw a few nights ago. Her short purple hair and her heavy makeup, it is it stands out, and the two of you lock eyes. It looks like she was looking for something or someone, and you see Mal Davis.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. She probably does one of those, like, very exaggerated waves, little jump and wave, you know?
You see her smile, and she has kind of a. She is not as excited in her waving, but she smiles and walks over toward you.
Yay. Okay.
Hey, Willow.
Hi, what are you doing here? Do you also?
No, I don't really. Well, I don't go here or anything, or I never went here. I just sometimes meet with one of the professors.
Oh,
Like how?
We chat, debate, talk politics.
oh. Is he normal?
No,
Oh,
you probably know him. It's the Bruja Primogen.
oh, Critias. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's a little prickly, but
Oh. Yeah,
he's a good conversationalist.
he is. And surprisingly, once you open up a little bit, he actually really loves comedy too.
Well, I haven't gotten that side of him.
Yeah, Machiavelli does this fun little cartwheel trick, and it makes him laugh every time.
That's surprising, actually, that he would be amused by a rat. She looks down at Machiavelli and your bag. Well, the real reason I was talking to him is because honestly, I'm pretty fucking frustrated.
Oh,
I can't. I'm trying everything, Willow, to rally the Anarchs, and I don't want to see this city just be what it is right now. I've been here since the 80s. Okay, I was embraced
Oh.
years ago, and I have never seen this city without Anarchs, and I don't want that to be the state of the city. And the fact that we have to wait to talk to the prince, the fact that we're on this waiting list, it just shows he doesn't really care. And what happens if you do end up talking to him and he just decides he doesn't want to deal with it anymore?
Well, how about I didn't have any plans tonight, so how about we go about making headway on all that?
I would really like to.
Okay. Then I have a well, you know,
fuck. How do I say? I'm a private real estate agent. And I'll just have the she's like, be mindful.
A little demure, a little mindful.
Yeah, let's be a little mindful and demure. Let's not just we don't need to think about what you say, girl. And she kind of reins it in for a second, and
I had some locations that we talked about. If you wanted to go by and see them, and we could talk during. Unless you think everyone would want to come along, but that would be a little difficult to explain a whole horde of people.
Yeah, I'm happy to take a look with you. I think that would be good.
Perfect. And then once we find one that you like, I can purchase it, and we can head back with that good news, at least as a start. Get people moved in, get what they need. That can do a lot for morale. Just having somewhere safe to stay.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Perfect. And she probably would call Lucas up.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I don't imagine it's difficult to find properties just because when your family is real estate, figurehead, it's probably not hard.
You're right. It's not difficult to find a lot of property in the city and the greater Chicago area.
Yeah, I think a quick little search on the phone, through whatever little portal we have of some properties,
You take a look, and there is some locations on like the south side of Chicago. Some area, surprisingly, near North Side, which is not far from like River North and Gold Coast. There's like some Bruja that's like Bruja territory. It's a little I think when you go through that area with Mel Davis, it's a little not her speed, so she's like not loving it. The last place that you look is the area. You look in the area of Berwyn. That seems to be pretty more the speed of the Anarchs in like the greater Chicago area as you guys are exploring.
Okay. If it's probably just, I imagine it could just be a phone call. Of obtaining the location.
Do you think... How do you guys normally get around? I remember I gave Adder that cute little bike.
We still have the bike. Sloane's been using it. We usually just get around either by train.
Is that what you want?
I mean, it works. Did you have something else in mind?
Well, my family usually does, few black SUVs. Is that too much?
I think that's a little too much.
How about something smaller?
If you're offering to provide vehicles for the Anarchs,
I am.
something
How about
simple and
something electric? That's actually incredibly punk when you think about it. In a world that vies for only gas cars, electric cars.
And she looks very, does a little puff of her chest, like there's fucking electric chargers out there.
as long as they're not Teslas, I guess that's fine.
Oh, that's true.
Good point.
Just something that's like unassuming. We don't need like the blacked out cars. We don't need anything that stands out. I don't know. I don't know how everybody's gonna feel about being funded by some like rich. She looks at you and she looks like she wants to say more, but she's holding herself back. I know you did it for Adder, and that was really like it was good, and like you gave us all the weapons and stuff, but like I think this is a good start.
Okay. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's what money is for, right? Put it towards what you want to help.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And there is something a bit... I don't know, it feels good to take money that I've essentially inherited and then turn around and use it against them.
That is a good point. Yeah.
But how about we just start with like 1 or 2 cars? Nothing fancy. We can go to like... How about a bunch of Honda Odysseys? Holds a lot of people. Reliable.
Okay, that's unassuming
van
enough. Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Well, this location is done and done. I can sign all the stuff later. And, yeah, I guess we can go start moving people in.
Yeah. You could see she looks she doesn't look like the most enthusiastic about all of this. She feels good. It looks like she looks good, but like she's not jumping for joy at finding a new location, at getting all this new stuff. Can tell there's still something there.
You know, I know it doesn't fix all of it, but it starts. It will start to be fixed. We have to get ourselves in a place where we can do that. I know that I can be very... a lot. And I know that I know how people look at me. I get it. Especially the Anarchs. I'm just some rich girl that they think pities them, and I'm going to try and prove that that's not the case, but also maybe we can talk about the why at some point.
Yeah. What is it that you would want, Willow? What is your goal? What's your end game?
My end game. I have spent a lot, if not all, since I was born, literally. People were trying to take photos of me since I was a baby. I've never had a choice really in anything. Even though I wasn't in kindred society, it still kind of felt like I was, being controlled by the Camarilla. The Camarilla in this case were just my parents. And that was before I knew what they were. And it feels like this should be... I've come to terms with it. I want it to be a new lease on life. Or on life. And it feels like I have fallen into the same rabbit hole. I really don't want to be... There are parts of my family I love. But I would like to be able to make decisions on my own and go to them for help when I want it, not because they demand it. So I guess in my ideal endgame, people like my father, for instance, wouldn't hold the power that they do.
I get that. And I might not have the same background as you, and I'm sure people look at you and yeah, they think they make all of their assumptions. It can be hard. I'm somebody who actually doesn't really have an identity. I'm what they call clanless, or lots of other derogatory names: orphans, trash, caitiff.
Oh. I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
Yeah,
Well-
there's not many of us in Chicago.
You become clanless.
Something got fucked up in my embrace,
Huh.
and I don't have a clan.
Well, doesn't that mean you can just pick whichever one you want to be? You're not restricted by what your clan is now.
That is kind of the outlook I try to have, is that, yeah, I can really be anything I want to be.
And that's honestly really, really cool. Especially when you do have a clan and everybody tells you that you have to be those things that that clan is. Though I get that. I guess sometimes it's nice to have that label. Because at least then you have somewhere to go and feel like you belong. But if you don't have a clan, you could belong anywhere if you wanted. At the very least, you have the Anarchs. And I don't
Yeah.
care that you don't have a clan.
Yeah, that's really what I want to get away from. All of the titles, Prince, Primogen, all of that. We don't need it. Honestly, we don't even need barons, if you ask me. Like, we should just be our own people. And I understand the need for leadership, and Anita was great.
Yeah, she was.
But I think for now, we should consider ourselves leaderless.
Work as a unit.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
And I think
Well-
we should do something to send that message.
Oh, I was thinking about that. I actually already had the perfect target. It was something I told Anita I would do a long time ago.
Ah, yes, the
Hidden.
Anarch. Yes, I remember the big stage presence that night. I was there. I remember.
Yeah. I had an idea then, but I had to get some things together. As I don't really know how to do things on a small scale. Maybe that's one of the Lysander parts of me. But we're gonna use it for good. You know, and they're probably walking towards, they're like on their way back. And I know that Caden is building this brand new facility with the launch of his new medical line. And luckily properties are real easy for me to look into with what my family does. I've had my ghouls swing by a few times to see when their peak construction hours are. It's typically late at night. And then they wrap up. We'd have a few hours before dawn where no one's on site.
I like where this is going.
Good. I figure we could do all manner of thing. I don't know if I have the personal strength to do it, but
I do know it'd be very, very annoying if all of his construction equipment stopped working overnight.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think
I
I
don't know
might
a
be able to help with
lot.
that.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about vehicles, but I'm sure someone does. And we can, yeah, I don't know, rip out some essential parts, take them all. Something unassuming. I would love for everyone to show up that day and just not be able to do anything.
I like it. I like the
Yep.
idea.
Maybe even tag the building itself. I do like to, could be a performance art of sort.
I think that's some good art. I think we should make a plan of it.
Okay. We can go get everyone else's help, too.
Yeah, let's do a little team building with the rest of the Anarchs. Get everybody together. Couple of nights. Show them the new facility. Have a little fun.
Yeah, I think that would be a great bonding exercise and might get people's spirits back up.
Let's
Maybe
make
by-
it. Actually, go ahead.
Maybe by then the prince will be ready to speak with us.
Somehow I have my doubts. But let's make it a couple of nights from now.
Okay. A couple nights from now.
I'll bring the crew in and we'll have some fun.
Good. I look forward to it.
Thanks, Willow, for everything, for helping, for talking, for being an ear. I appreciate it.
I greatly appreciate it too. You have no idea. It's really hard to make friends with other kindred.
It can be for people like us.
For people like us. She gives a little nod and a big old smile.
She smiles as well, and you watch Maldavis turn around and take her leave for the evening.
I made a friend.
And Willow, you head back to Lucas and make some additional arrangements to get everything set up for this new building in Berwyn for the Anarchs. And that is your evening. We next go to the Chantry, where we see Silas in these past couple of nights. Silas, you have been working on research, as much research as you can, with all of the books and things that you've learned about the Lysander and the Sabbat. And in these nights, Simone has been helping you. The two of you researching about the history of the Sabbat or the Lysander, and how they are they have a lot of ties to the Sabbat as a whole, and their powers of oblivion and their connections to the abyss. And you learn about many different rituals that they do themselves. They not just have disciplines, but they also have rituals that take time, much like a Tremere blood magic ritual. And you're not quite finding what you're looking for on how they're able to move through the abyss. You find things about they can find locations of where the veil is thin. But as you're looking, Simone speaks with you about some of these things and what she knows. You know, when I was in New Orleans, there was obviously a lot of Sabbat activity there, which is why I left.
I've heard it's
And
practically the entire south.
yes, and it's concerning. The last I heard might even be like Kansas City, and the fact that they're making their way across the states, it's concerning, to say the least.
It's understandable, yes.
You know, this whole thing, when they talk about, when we talk about the Sabbat and like all these books, I think what we're missing here, the thing that they always talk about, it's not about their willingness to want to just become more like embracing the beast or wanting to not abide by the masquerade and all of those things that people think. It's about, and you see her demeanor change. It's about fighting a war.
A war against who?
A war against our elders. Because that's what they believe. Our elders, they'll rise up. The descendants of Cain, his children, will rise up and rebel against us. So we have to stop them. We have to consume our elders. We have to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And Silas, roll me a wits insight as she's talking.
Seven successes.
My God, bro. As she's talking, her voice, her inflection, the tone changes,
Mm-hmm.
and her eyes stare blankly, and you look into her eyes, and she, for a second, doesn't look like Simone. Her eyes look dark. And it's like somebody else is speaking inside of her.
Are you okay?
She shakes her head for a second. Yes, yeah. I'm okay. Yeah.
You went somewhere else there for a second.
Just some of the things that I learned. And was just reciting. You
Must
can
have
tell
been
she's
hard.
lying.
Yeah. New Orleans must have been hard.
It was hard. Yeah. And digging through all of this stuff kind of brings back some weird memories, I guess.
Were you quoting someone? Was that a quote you just said about the elder stuff?
I feel like I learned it somewhere. Yeah, maybe it was a quote.
Because you said we.
We. Yes, and she looks like she's like totally flustered. When you are asking her these questions, she doesn't have answers right away.
Why don't you sit down? Have you fed recently?
I haven't really in a couple of nights, no.
Why don't you go take the night off? You've been more than enough help the past couple nights. I feel like I've gotten pretty much as much as I will be able to get out of these books. You should go feed. I can stay here and clean up and continue to see if I can find whatever I can.
She looks down at the ground. You want to save Khalil, right?
I do, yeah.
What if I was able to help more than looking through these books?
I'm all ears.
She takes a second. A pregnant pause. That's a term.
I've never heard that term before.
Heard that one. Yeah.
It's
like-
definitely a term.
That is a term, okay?
A pregnant
It is
pause? I have
done.
never heard that term before.
Yeah.
But
A
continue,
long
my apologies.
She looks down at the books on the ground. These books aren't going to help us. Because they're Tremere studies, and they don't have the rituals performed by the Sabbat. But to
Do
Khalil,
you?
it was... She looks up at you. What they did to Khalil, it was not... I think I might know how to do it.
I mean, Malankov was... Everyone kept saying how powerful he is. How could you possibly mimic what he could do?
She looks up at you, and her eyes change again. Because the person inside me can do it.
Give me 1 second.
He's gotta consult something.
I have to consult the dice.
Chris is having thoughts.
Chris is scared.
Okay. I
I'm
rolled
gonna
a
report you.
I rolled a composure resolve. 6 seconds, so Silas does not 6 successes, not seconds. And and you are?
Her voice changes again. It doesn't matter who I am or what I am. But she took from me. And now I exist here. Her smile on her face almost looks demonic. I have access to the Umbra. I can take you there. Come on. Blood magic isn't enough, isn't it? Don't you want the powers of oblivion?
Not particularly, no.
That's not what she said.
Would I have any idea what this is? Because the player has an idea what this is.
Yeah, you can roll me a intelligence occult.
Hold on. Please, hold the phone. That was one of the worst rolls I've ever had. Still not great out of my best roll, 4 successes.
4 successes is still quite a bit. You at first you're like, is this some sort of like demonic possession of
That's
sorts?
what yeah, that's exactly what he was thinking at first.
But you think a bit more, and this could be the results of the other thing you learned about Simone. Her diablerie.
Mm-hmm.
You sit there for a second, and the smirk fades, and Simone comes back and is holding this book on the Lysander in her hands.
Silas is gonna lean in like close. Do you want to talk about that?
And she stands up. I don't know what you're talking about.
You said you can help, so let's help. Whatever you know, whatever you can provide. Like I said the other night, I need your help.
She looks at you. We all have skeletons in our closet, Silas. I trust you won't say anything to the Regent.
Are you safe? Are you in control?
Usually, yes. It's just some things trigger it. And I think some of these readings have stirred those memories.
Your secret is safe.
She kind of looks around the room, and Silas the Third is here, though he's in his own little world right now, looking through books, and doesn't seem to mind any of this. But she looks at you and she says, when I was in New Orleans, before I was embraced, I went to a club one night, and it was a party with my friends, and then a bunch of us went to this after party. It was at some warehouse. And before you know it, somebody attacked me with a shovel, smacked it right over my head. I was knocked out, and then I woke up in a ditch, embraced, not knowing what I was. And I was apparently going to be used as a tool for the Sabbat in New Orleans. I was going to be one of them. But I found a way out. And it came at a cost. I took one of them. And I consumed all of their vitae. And now they live inside of me.
I've read those. I've read that can happen.
It has its downsides, but it also has its perks. I do have access to things outside of blood magic.
Look, I think you've heard my mother did the same thing.
Yeah.
I know I've said some adverse things in the past about it, but our past doesn't define us, Simone. It's what we do after the fact what defines us.
I do believe that. I do. I'm not proud of those things, but I did it to survive. Like all of us do. So, I don't know. It's sometimes it does suck, but I know that you have your feelings about all of this, and I just don't want you to think of me differently.
As long as you're safe, that's all I care about. As long as it doesn't control you or hurt you in any way, maybe we can use it. Not maybe, we will use it. You shouldn't hide your gifts.
I might be able to figure out how to do it. You're right. I don't know the actual ritual. Well, actually, I do know the ritual, but I don't know how. I have never done it before, and I might need to study it, kind of like we do with our blood rituals. It's a ritual that is only taught within the Sabbat circles. And I think if we go back to the spot where it all happened, and I do this, I might be able to get him back.
Back to the Diamond Yama.
Yeah. I think we should go back to the source. It's where the veil is thin, apparently. If he was able to do that.
Just us.
I would prefer that. And if we get Khalil out, he's gonna see just us, and he's gonna know.
It was marked Sabbat territory.
That's... Well, if we do go there, then, yeah, that might awaken the friend.
Okay. We'll do that.
Okay. I might need some time to this out. It's sometimes I do these things. The power of Vivian. It stains our soul. Every time a Lysander, when they do these powerful things, they actually succumb to the darkness more than others, and I do worry that it could do that to me. But if it's it's worth taking that risk, in my opinion.
It's not
To
going to
help.
happen to you. I'll make sure of it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for telling me. Make sure you go feed. Take the couple days. And we'll go when you're ready.
He nods, and
Feel free
She
to
goes
use
over
the
and-
lab if you need to.
she pats Silas the Third on the head, and she takes her leave.
Silas,
Yes.
whatever you just heard doesn't leave this room. You never repeat it. Do you understand?
He nods.
Good. Silas walks over to a table and looks at a chessboard. I believe it's your move.
He moves a piece, and the two of you continue to play chess as he moves his pawn, his white pawn. And Silas, before you leave for the evening, as you're stepping out of the chantry, Lucas shows up to you, and he says, "Sir, this was delivered to me. I don't tell Willow, but I had to go to the repair shop and get a new vehicle."
Why, were you
I
in an
got-
accident?
No, when I went to go out to Lamont to
Ugh,
make a
don't tell
visit.
me. I can put two and two together.
Yeah, thankfully, it didn't get any worse. They just, had a little fun, I guess. But I ended up just getting a whole new car. I don't know if Willow will notice, but I don't want her to worry. So
I won't say a thing. Not something to worry about. You're fine. It's a car. What is something like this cost? Like 10 grand?
yeah, it's a little more than, it's more like 25, but
Yeah.
it's
No
it's
use
fine.
crying over 25 grand, right?
Yeah. They left something for me to give to you.
Okay.
And you receive a note that is wrapped like a scroll almost. And it's rather large. Actually, it's in a package. But when you look in the package, it's like scrolled up.
Okay.
And where are you going to read this, Silas? If you are going to read it, I assume you are.
He is going to read it.
Okay, where do you go to read it?
Since
Do
he
you read
doesn't-
it right here,
I mean,
outside of the chantry?
Yeah.
Okay, so you open it up outside of the chantry. As you take the scroll out and unscroll it, the first thing you see is a bit alarming. You see skin, a face, a bloody, disfigured face, the skin of a face. And if you weren't a doctor, it might be something that you it still takes you a moment of your own composure, but I might have had you roll a resolve composure if you weren't a doctor.
It's still
But
jarring.
as you look, As you look at the skin and the flesh in front of you, this face that looks like it was ripped off of somebody, just the flap of the front of the face, you hold it in your hand. Even in this form, you recognize the face. The bandages that were once wrapped around their head, leaving a scar of a cross. The eyes, you recognize this priest. It's Jude. His face. And as you take a moment and examine it, you then maybe put it away quickly so that it's not really seen.
He's gonna put it back in the box or the manila envelope, whatever it was delivered in, yes.
You then receive a note within it. It reads, "There's your hunted doc. You didn't mention the government was involved, but obstacles in the field can be overcome with a little bit of ingenuity. Now, I'm sorry about that jaw of yours. My temper got the best of me, but know that I do everything out of respect for you. The reason I almost snatched your face off is for 2 reasons. 1, I kept a promise, and I am a man of my word. And 2, I wanted to warn you. One day that family of yours is going to get you killed, Doc. Whether it be one of your siblings, Dorian or Valeria, or even Alan, they are going to get you dead. It might not be today, but possibly your next visit to the Chicago Symphony or the L Train. Music can be fun with family, but do you want to be there for another boat fiasco? I'm overstepping. My fault. Our side of the deal is complete. I expect you to serve that plate in a respectable amount of time. Nothing fancy. We aren't having a dinner with Ballard or Sovereign now. And remember, Doc, please don't become an obstacle." Talame? I should have just had Craig. Craig, I should have had you do a recording like I made Caden do those recordings. Because I don't do it justice.
You put a little voice on it too. I like that.
Craig, I should have had you just do a recording. But you recognize this note. And you read it with that face in your hand. And we cut from Silas and head to Dorian. Dorian, you are at the former guaranteed rate field, doing some final paperwork and signings, you've already gotten a tour of the stadium and all of the office buildings, but now these office buildings are your office buildings. These executive halls are your executive halls at the stadium. And your people are beginning to move things in, move things around. People are moving things out. It's a bit in the transitional phase of you now owning this field, which is still under a tentative to be named as they await your final decision on what to name the new field. And everything seems to be in order. And that is when you're the first to get the news of when you do pull up turn on the TVs in the field, Chicago, or the guaranteed rate field. All the TVs, one of the headlines for this evening is that there was a church, St. Francis of Assisi in Harwood Heights. I believe that's where it is, if I remember. Harwood
Correct.
Heights.
Yep.
That was destroyed, demolished. Seems there was some sort of activity there that police are still investigating. There was, they believe to be some sort of leak or fire in the building that caused multiple explosions to vehicles outside. And then the church itself was burnt to the ground. Thankfully, according to the reports, no one was harmed. And that the church was empty that evening. And one individual remains in critical condition. One of the sisters of the church. And she is being kept at Mercy General. Or, sorry, Silas, what's the name of your,
Rush.
Of your hospital?
Rush Medical.
Why do I keep saying, I always want to say Mercy.
Is that the
Rush
hospital from Grey's
Medical.
Anatomy or something? Like, it's
I don't
so
know
cookie
what it
cutter.
is. I know, it really is. At Rush Medical, there is one sister in critical condition. But other than that, there were no casualties, fatalities, and the building is like, it was completely destroyed. You see that news, and it rings a bell to you as you weren't there, but your brother and sister were at that church, the church they told you about, where Adder was taken.
Yeah, they told me they were doing something.
You hear that news on the TV as you're preparing everything. But is there anything, Dorian, that you would like to do for the evening? Probably feed, for one. But anything else that you would like to do?
Well, Dorian has been stewing over Marcus being gone. And he's wrapping up his discussions and saying his goodbyes. Like, I'm sorry, gentlemen, I gotta get out of here. Look, we're gonna turn this franchise around, and it starts with a new stadium. Like, we're gonna turn this field into some place people want to come take their kids. All right, I gotta go. And then he's gonna just like leave. And he's been trying to get a hold of his dad. He wants to talk to him. And I don't think he has been able to.
You extend the lines to your company, to Ethos Investment, where your father, is every night. And the secretary tells you, not Shannon, of course, she's vital, but the secretary tells you that your father is booked for the rest of the week and is unable to hold any more meetings.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me, though. Like, where is he? You can just tell me where he is, right?
And the secretary tells you it seems he's actually out of town. I'm sorry,
Sure.
sir.
Okay. Out of town. Is that code for just hiding out at home? Is that what that means?
They don't reply.
Dorian's gonna rush home just to try and find his father, just assuming that he might be there. He hasn't been inside in a while, but he's assuming he's still allowed in.
You are allowed into the home, and you walk in, and many of the housekeepers, they greet you. Long time no see. You say your hellos. You ask about your father, and they look at each other. You can see the glance. You see the glances exchanged, and they say, "Oh, he's out of town. Sorry, sir."
Okay. Out of town. Where? Where is he?
Milwaukee.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna go hang out in the office for a bit. He's not using it, right?
They look at each other nervously. Of course.
Dorian doesn't know if his dad is home or not, but at this point, he is just fuming, and he's gonna go. He intends to leave a note where he knows eventually he'll be.
Yeah. And you go to the office, And sure enough, it's empty.
He looks around and it's a very familiar office for him. He goes to the desk and he pulls out a piece of paper and he angrily scribbles down, "You can't ignore me. Marcus isn't your pawn. He's more family than you've ever been. Fix this or I will." And he's going to slam the paper down and collapse into his father's chair, lean back and curl his hands around the arm of the chair. And he's going to look around and he'll see the shelves like full of, books and, knickknacks, very expensive bottle of whiskey, scotch that he'd been saving next to photo albums of the family. And Dorian is going to see that bottle that his dad has been saving for I don't know how long, years. It's always been there. And he's going to grab it and he's going to drink it, which he needs to blush of life to do, right?
You do. And you will need to rouse if you want to do that, if you don't want to immediately vomit it all up.
Mm-hmm. So Dorian's going to go ahead and do that.
Okay, go ahead.
Kind of hoping to fail. I succeeded. So I remain at 4 hunger and do not go to 5.
Perhaps it's the beast that is making you act this way. The fuming anger, resentment, hatred, the fact that you know your father is avoiding you and that you have things you want to say, and of course he makes himself not known to you. It angers you to no other. The man who brought you into this world and into this unlife, your sire, refuses to speak with you, and it enrages the beast inside of you. You leave this note and you drink. And you drink. And you drink the whole bottle. Not that it affects you the way it would if you were a human. It's more the point, the fury and the rage.
I leave the empty bottle on the desk next to the note, and I spend a few hours in there, maybe an hour or so. I'm sure the staff would eventually wonder what I was doing, and eventually I'd leave. They'd find the office relatively undisturbed besides the note and the bottle of whiskey, but if they looked through the photo album, they would find that Dorian has scratched out his father's face in about half of the folder photos on there. And he leaves.
You walk down the hallway, and you notice some of the decor's changed in the house. Your father has moved things around, and you see the one family portrait that used to be there with you, your mother, all of your siblings, including Alan, and Uncle Jacques. It's no longer there.
He's gonna call the house staff manager. Reggie, what happened to the photo, the portrait here?
Well, it seems, sir, that
Yeah.
Reginald.
His name is Reginald Harlow. Okay, that's
Reginald.
his name.
Reginald.
And
Reggie.
and I call him Reggie.
Well, sir, it seems that your father had it removed.
When was this?
A few weeks ago, sir.
Okay. You know where he took it? He put
I
it in
think he-
storage?
I think he took it to the, well, he jokingly says, the catacombs, sir. Downstairs, in the lower levels.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? Why don't you go ahead and do I have access to that? Do I like know how to get down there?
The
don't-
catacombs are off limits, sir. I apologize.
Okay. What do you mean off limits?
Well, only your father and uncle have access, sir.
I'm part of this family too. Reggie, you know that.
Damn, Reggie.
I know, sir, that you are his son, sir, but I just was doing what your father asked, sir.
I know. You've always been good to this family. You always do what you're asked. So, I'm asking you now to get me the key so I can go into the catacombs. Reggie's not a ghoul, right?
He is not.
I'm gonna go ahead and use Dominate on him.
Dorian's did not come to play tonight, fam. Alrighty.
It's the hat. It's the hat, dude.
His new White Sox hat is new thing. All right. Yes, you may roll your dominate.
I think for mortals, it's
you're
just
right. It does.
succeeds, right?
It does automatically succeed for mortals. You tell him to do this. And wait, sir. He turns around. Takes a few minutes and he comes back with a key card with your family name on it.
Okay. Thanks. You can stay here. And he's just gonna tell him, not command him. And he's gonna go into the catacombs. Specifically searching for this photo, or this portrait. He wants to take it home.
Roll me a wits and investigation. As you head down and you go down the stairs, you know that there's a basement, and you know that there is like the lower levels. That's like the lower basements of this of your family home. You've not been down here much to this area, this access area, but you look around. You use the key card to get in, and you do get access. What do you roll?
1 success.
1 success. What you see in the basement, it looks kind of warehousey. It is very well kept, and everything is organized. It takes you a bit to go through a lot of the things down here. You see nothing out of the ordinary that would concern you from a kindred standpoint or from a son standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're looking through old boxes and decor, things, you do eventually find the portrait.
It's good. At least he didn't do something stupid with it.
Not like you with your photos, right?
I just improved those. This one's different. This one I'm not gonna deface. Yeah. It's pretty big. I'm sure it's kind of hard to is there, I'm assuming there's some kind of like dolly or something I can truck it on?
Yes, there is, and you're right. It is a pretty large portrait. It like was a mantle, like over the mantelpiece,
Mhm.
for your family. You're able to
Yeah, Dorian
move it
struggles
out.
to like lift it up and put it on the track and pull it out. He doesn't want anybody's help, so he's just like, all right, and then he pulls it up the stairs as far as he can
To the elevator.
to the elevator. Yeah.
Do you take it with you as you leave?
Yeah, but while I'm down there, I mean, do I notice anything else? I mean, I'm not like hunting, I'm not like spending a ton of time in here, but like is there anything that like obviously stands out when I look around?
Nothing out of the ordinary. It looks like it's just an extra storage space for your father and your family.
Dorian will make a mental note that they should probably come back here with his siblings later. Just kind of forgot about this place. And yeah, he's going to take the portrait with him.
You take it out to your new driver that you've hired, as Marcus is still missing. And this guy you don't like. He's a bigger guy. He's got kind of he's got like the slick back hair, but it's just a little too greasy, you know? And he wears a suit. You ready to go, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, bring this you know what? Bring this to let's bring this to Willow's studio.
You got it, sir. Any other stops we have to make?
No. Yeah, let's go see Willow.
Okay. You drive away and head to Willow's. And that is where we will take our break. And when we return, we shall reconvene with at least two of the siblings and probably the third to join not long after. So we will be back in probably 10-ish minutes. So go ahead and grab drink, bio break, all of the good things that you need to do, that you have to do because we're not kindred and we have to
We gotta go pee pee.
take care of our duties.
Mhm.
So we'll
Blush
be
of
back
life
in,
and drink water.
Yeah, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So don't go anywhere, and we'll see you just a little bit. BRB. We return. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ancestral Blood as we head into part 2 of our session this evening. As always, if you want to see all the other stuff that we're up to, join our Discord, discord.gg/MagiRPG, and YouTube, youtube.com/MagiRPG, where you can catch up on all of our shows and all the things that we have going on for the next couple of weeks. We have a couple of things planned, so if you want to get all of the details on all of our events, head over to our Discord and chat and hang out with us. So without further ado, let us get into the second half of Ancestral Blood, where we see Dorian in the car with his new driver, Marty. Marty is taking you to the address that you provide him for Willow's art studio, which Willow wasn't there for most of the evening, but probably at some point heads back there after her chat with Mal Davis. And Willow, you're just getting in for the evening to the studio. Not even there, probably like 30 minutes. And you hear a beep from the intercom of the front desk person who says that you have a guest. It's your brother, Dorian Lysander.
You can send him up.
He nods to you, Dorian, and presses the little bzzz, and then the elevator opens, and that allows you to go to the floor of the building that is Willow's art studio.
Mm-hmm. I have Marty carrying the portrait up.
That was going to be my question.
It's covered. Yeah. Marty's lugging it up. And then we get to like the top, and I'd say hello to Willow, and I would tell Marty, be like, all right, Marty, thanks a lot. You can go home now. Thanks.
All right. He drops the portrait delicately on the ground. And,
hey, careful, Marty. All right.
All right.
Go home.
Okay. Thank you, sir. By the way, sir, who do I go to like for the invoice for the payment? You told me that is it through your company or your father's? I got that a little mixed up.
Your payment will be taken care of. All right. We don't need to talk about this now.
All right, sir. Have a good night. And he leaves.
You have a new driver?
Temporarily. We're gonna get Marcus back.
You got one named Marty? That's like
I didn't
shitting on Marcus.
I didn't name him.
He's the wish Marcus.
The Timu Marcus.
Timu Marcus.
The drivers tend to come with names, Willow. I didn't choose it.
Yeah, but you could have chosen another one. Unimportant. Why did you bring this big... What is this?
It's and he's gonna pull the sheet off of it.
Did you steal this?
It's not stealing. It's a family heirloom. We're family.
You went into Dad's house and you took this off the mantelpiece.
No, he had it in the catacombs. I don't know. He put it in storage.
He took it down?
He took it down, right? Okay, it's not just me. That's
what?
Crazy.
You know
right?
who probably took it down? Sierra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or she told him to do it. Either way, doesn't matter.
Speaking of which, I was hoping you could hold this here for now.
Yeah.
I don't have a spot for it yet.
Yeah, I'll hold on to it. Yeah.
Plenty of space for art. I want to get Marcus back. And I know we don't have a lot of options. But I was thinking, you, me, Lucas, we go knock on some doors, talk to some people. Sierra's got to have another ghoul, and worst case scenario, we know all of the Lysander that she knows that are in the city now, right? I mean, they're all pretty tightly knit, from my understanding.
And so we're trying to what? Get one of them to tell us where Marcus is?
Ideally.
Okay. You know where they're at?
Do I? I don't think I do.
Where the other Lysander are?
Well,
Uh,
first
or
thing
who
I
you-
was hoping was we know where Sierra operates out of, and she might. I mean, our family had more than one ghoul. She might have another one. I feel like that's my first.
The main place you know she like is the Diamond Yama. That's like the spot. I
Hmm.
don't know if you would know any other places that she would be at.
Okay. Well, maybe if we can't do this tonight, if we can't find them, maybe we can just put in motion finding where some of these associates are.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Oh, maybe I can find out where they're at. One moment. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Can I search through the web and find these people?
I love the web.
Yes,
I love to be in the web.
you can attempt to do so to invoke a premonition. So go ahead and make your rouse check for that.
Okay.
And roll your resolve aspects.
I failed the rouse check, so let me mark a mark. Solve aspect. Successes. Oh, fuck yeah.
How many?
4.
4. 4 successes. Willow, you take a moment to take your mind to the Malkavian web. And as your mind takes you to the place that you are most familiar with for the Lysander, the Diamond Yama. That's where you start. Your mind takes you there. You see that around the building is swirls of shadows. And as the shadow swirls up, it gets thinner and is more smoky. And you follow that line of smoke. It takes you through the city. And your mind follows it, trying to see where it leads to. It leads down a road to a part of town that looks like it's a little bent out of shape. It looks like an area that is run down, nothing like that of where the hotel is or the Chicago Loop or many of the places that you and your family visit. This area, you see buildings run down, and then there's just one building. The outside of it, a simple neon light that stands out to you. And then looking at it, trying to depict what the neon light reads, all you can see is the word misery. And then you're brought back.
Um,
I have a starting place for us. I think.
Okay.
It's
What'd you see?
definitely... I saw like little swirls of shadows around the Diamond Yama, and then I followed them, and it went to like a really shitty part of town. But
Okay.
in this shitty part of town, there was one not shitty place, and on it was a neon sign that said misery. Does this ring a bell? Well, if I've never been there, you probably have never been there.
I know a lot of places in the city, but no, that's not. That doesn't seem familiar.
Are there
Okay.
any clubs called Misery if I pull out my phone?
You
Or
Take-
bars?
you take a look, and as you are looking for a bar, nothing comes up for that name. But I will say that you know what? I'm gonna re-roll for this. Roll me an intelligence streetwise.
Am I rolling for that as well, or is that just?
You can both roll if you're both looking. Roll me an intelligence streetwise, both of you, as you're both kind of doing some research.
1 success.
1 success.
2 success.
2 successes. You're not finding a bar by the name of Misery. But as you're looking like on Google Maps and searching, and you're kind of starting from the Diamond Yama and like following the path of vaguely where it led you, Willow, you're not quite finding it. But Dorian, you're looking a bit closer and looking at like the images on Google, and you see one that has a neon sign, but it doesn't say the word misery. It instead says malice. But it is a neon sign, and it's the letter M, so it's like there's some sort of connection there. You're not sure what it means, but there may be some sort of connection there.
You sure it didn't say malice? I don't know how. I don't know how the visions work. Is it possible that you? Because I see. He'll show.
And Willow, you look, and that sign, that looks like the sign that you saw in your vision.
That does look like the sign. Just said misery for sure in my... Huh.
Feel like we should read into that.
What, that it's a place of misery?
Your premonitions have been very accurate.
Yeah. Maybe going here is going to lead to misery.
Or maybe there's a lot of misery inside.
Both are possible.
Well, what are you feeling?
Down for whatever. I'm not doing anything for the next few hours. And if Marcus could be saved because of this, be willing. You want to go?
I do want to go. Yeah.
Okay.
And you see, like, Dorian has had this, like, I don't know, almost nervous energy. He's tapping his foot a lot. He's got not quite a shake, but
You good?
this is not the most stable you've seen him.
Okay.
I'm
You
good.
sure you're not going to go in and start, acting up?
Shooting people in the head? No.
Yeah. That.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm. You know what?
What?
And he's going to take the gun out and he's going to put it on the table. We'll leave the gun at home for once.
Oh, we should. I feel uncomfortable if we don't have it. What if something happens and this is the one time you leave it? Here, I'll put it in my purse.
All right, no, I mean, if you want me to take the gun.
No, you should take it. No, you should take it.
I'm going to take it. I mean, if we're going to take the gun, I'm going to take the gun. And he's
Fi-
going to put
okay,
it back on
fine.
his hip.
Yeah, come on, let's not be that drastic.
All right, I mean, yeah, if we need the gun, I'll take the gun.
Yeah.
So the two of you, I assume you take Lucas to
Oh, of course.
take you out to this this part of town. It's like south side, like far south side of Chicago, and the two of you head out. Seems like, yeah, it looks like it's a bar. It looks like it's a dive bar. And you're driving down to the dive bar. Anything else the two of you need to do before you head here? Okay. You pull outside to this dive bar, Malice, and you walk in. And this looks like it's actually kind of a cool scene. It's like almost like a rocker bar. And it's small. The setting is a bit more intimate, and the two of you look around. You're not sure what you're looking for here. You're just following the premonition. But as the two of you are looking, the first thing you see is a face that you vaguely recognize. The reason you recognize it is because they were announced in the city when Jackson announced all of the La Sombra at the Elysium. She was one of the faces that you saw. Her hair is dark, and it looks like she has like a streak of red in it. She's wearing a sweater, and you remember vaguely the name when Jackson was announcing them. Her name was Mona, M-O-N-A. It's the only person you recognize here.
Well, that might be our person. You'd point them out.
Do we want to approach?
Yeah. You got a plan? I've got vague notions of a plan.
We could start out being nice. See if they know much about. I mean, we could approach as we're probably going to be recognized. So let's play into that. It's like hey, lovely to meet you. You know, we're trying to get to know the Lysander better because we believe in the prince's vision. We, just want to welcome you to the city. And then, we strike up a little bit of a conversation, casual conversation. And we bring up, oh yeah, our dad dates Sierra. Oh,
Right.
we've only gotten to meet her a few times. Oh, what's your opinion?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's chill and casual.
And then we ask where Marcus is.
Dorian, do you want to do it the subtle way or not?
Yeah,
I'm gonna stop Snape from getting that stone and not.
Oh, no. Literally right after I said it, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking much further than find them and make them tell us what we want to know. So, I figure we start nice and wing it.
Okay.
All right.
Worst case, you dominate.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm kind of just leaning towards that.
Okay, well, you didn't need me for that.
Well, I wanted to do this together.
Okay,
Okay.
fair.
You see her just playing with her hair, a drink in front of her, and looks like she was just finished talking to the bartender and is sitting by herself.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess we'll walk up, and
Just slide
and-
into either seat.
okay,
Ooh, ooh.
yeah, slide in on the other side, and give a casual greeting.
She looks at the two of you. She looks at you, Dorian. Ooh, go Sox.
You a fan?
Actually, not really, no. Not from Chicago. So, but, I try to assimilate a bit into the city, and I feel like I'm more of a Cubs fan, though.
Really?
Hmm.
No, you don't. You don't seem like you're from around here.
No, the two of you don't seem like you're from around this bar. It's a little too upscale, don't you think? Lysanders, right?
Yeah.
Mana, correct?
Yes. New to Chicago from Vancouver.
Oh, exciting. We went there one time on family trip, and we went up to Banff. It was very pretty.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, it was nice. Not a lot of our kind there anymore, but that seems to be the trend for North America. Things happen with, the spot, and then people have to leave. So we're all seeking
Sure.
refuge somewhere. Chicago's the best place to do it.
Yeah, it's so exciting, right, Dorian, that the prince allowed the Lysander in. That's really cool.
It is.
It is quite generous, isn't it? To take in the poor Lysander fleeing from the Sabbat. She says that kind of like looking around. You guys see that there's not like people really listening on the conversation. The bartender is at the other side of the bar at this time. So when she says these terms, she says it a little in hushed tones, but she's not afraid of speaking about kindred related things in the general vicinity.
Oh, well, definitely hard to keep those numbers up when you have to turn in your own.
Yeah,
part
that
of that
kind of
deal.
sucks. Yeah, I had to turn in a big one, the former Prince of DC, who was a Lysander that people thought was a Ventrue.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, and he's pretty old, but he's gone now.
Oh, dead.
So I'm here, and I'm just trying to find my place. And it's, sometimes it just feels a little bit like misery.
Really?
Willow's eyes widen.
Yeah.
Why's that?
Well, we're welcome, but we're not really welcome by the rest of the Camarilla. I mean, half of them don't even want us here. We barely got voted in.
No.
Pretty sure she looks at Willow. The Malkavians, they were thumbs down. A good portion of the Ventrue were thumbs down, so...
Well, I don't really talk to the rest of them. If that helps at all. I mean, our dad dates a Lysander, so you know, more power to them.
Right. Yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah, that thing. That's interesting. I mean, what are your thoughts on Sierra? I mean, did you come here for her?
No, I didn't come
Specifically?
here for her. I don't care for her.
Oh, interesting. We haven't, well, I guess we had a few, like, you know, obligatory family dinners and stuff when you meet your dad's new girlfriend. But we haven't really
Mhm.
gotten to know her very much. But, I mean, what, is she a bad person?
I can tell you she doesn't care about the rest of us. She doesn't care about the Lysander. She cares about herself and her own interests, and she's doing this all for herself. So I guess I appreciate the gesture and that she's given the Lysander a place of refuge, but she really doesn't give two shits, if you ask me.
I wonder why she's here then. I mean, if I were a Lysander and I had the position that she did, I would try and make it a good place for my clan. I don't know what other reason you would do that kind of thing for.
That is the question.
Yeah.
What other reasons are there?
So you didn't come for Sierra. You don't care for her. Why did you come to Chicago?
Because I was trying to get away. Away from the old ways of our clan. Sabbat. It's unfortunate. Most of North America, if you're a kindred, it's not a lot of great places to go. Like New York, I hear, is nice. Boston's rebuilding some of its Camarilla order and structure, but the West Coast, a little unruly there. So that's why I found myself here.
A nice city, all things considered. Not that we've ever lived in another one, but
So what is it the two of you want? You didn't come here just to, send the greeting party to all of the Lysander. I assume not.
oh, we are actually.
Oh, well, maybe I should expect that from, I don't know, rich family. You're trying to run for mayor or something.
Would you vote for us?
I
That's funny.
mean, I don't, I don't know yet. You haven't secured my vote.
Oh,
Well, what would it take to secure it? But what, if we're talking about it, I mean, what do you want in this city?
I want to be able to express my own thoughts and beliefs freely. You know, if there's something that I believe in and I want to have the freedom to believe in those things, then I don't want any opposition.
What kind of opposition are you talking about? What exactly do you want to believe and say?
It's long and a complicated story. Do you really want to listen, Dorian? Or is there something more that you want? I know how you Ventrue operates.
Well, we're straightforward to a certain extent, my clan. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You've been pretty honest about your dislike for Sierra. We don't like her either. And, well, if I'm being really honest, we thought you might be friends. And I wanted to learn more about her.
Well, if you're looking to learn more about Sierra, your best bet probably would have been her brother, Malankov.
Right. Okay. Second best bet?
Probably your father.
What
I don't
a
know if she
fuck.
had. I don't know what you want from me. She's out for herself. Like many of us. I can't really blame her, I guess, but I don't know, she's
So
kind of a bitch.
Does that go for the other Lysander too? You're all out on your own?
Most of us, yeah. The rabbi, he keeps to himself mostly. The other one, I don't know, I don't know her either. None of us really came from the same circles. We're all transplants.
So, no coterie?
No, nothing.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know what I want. I want information. Really, I want an ally. And, well, I mean, you're not close to Sierra, but you might have a better in than most of us, right?
I mean, I could probably get an audience with her, if that's what you're looking for. If you need to send a message, be willing to do something.
Okay. Well, what do you want then? I mean, I know you said you want to be able to speak your mind, and look, if you want to tell me whatever you want, I'll sit and listen all night. But you know, if there's something more tangible that we can do for you,
I have a couple of options. We could just do it the way the formal way. Just if you want me to have an audience with Sierra, do something, I'll do it for a major boon.
a major boon,
Yes.
just for an audience, for a message.
Look, you're making me go out of my way to. I could be negotiated, Mr. Ventrue, if you want it to be a minor boon.
Why can't it just be a sum of money?
Money. Money, that's too easy for you rich people. A boon?
Yeah.
Or you can just talk to Jackson about religious freedom for the kindred of this city.
Okay.
I'm looking to establish a church.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So you want a church?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's a pretty big ask, and I would love to help you with it, but I mean that for an audience, for a message. I mean, this is a church. This has got to be pretty important to you, I imagine. Your religion.
It is important to me. If you don't want to do that, I'll settle for a boon.
How about we will work to get you set up with a church. First step, I'll get an acknowledgement from Kevin Jackson. An audience with him, if you'd like. But in return, I want you to get a lot closer to Sierra. I want some real information. I don't just want... I mean, setting up a church is going to take time. It's not just one favor, that's a lot.
So, okay, what is it exactly? What kind of information are you looking for?
Associates, who she's talking to, anyone she shouldn't be talking to. I mean, look, you'll know something's valuable when you hear it. I'm sure.
Okay. All right. So you want to know who she's talking to, what circles she's in. Anything else?
He'll look to Willow.
Anything else? It would be really interesting if you could find out how long she's been seeing our father.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
I can do that.
Awesome.
All right.
So we'll start with that. You find out how long she's been seeing him, anything surrounding that, and we will get you an audience with the prince.
An audience with the prince. Can I get your backing with the audience?
Not without telling me what your religion is about first. I'm not going to sign on wholesale.
Religion is one that I'm looking to establish that is an old kindred religion to... Either of you really look deep in history and know where we come from? Who we come from?
I mean, vaguely. I've heard some stories. You went to class, Willow, right?
Yeah. Don't we come from, oh gosh, what's his... Cain?
Cain, yes.
Yeah.
He who killed his brother and was cursed. Yes. Well, my religion, it takes us back to those times to remember where we came from. Remember where it all started for us. Gives us something to look for and understand. A sort of clarity of who we are.
Oh.
And it helps a lot to be part of this and learn much about our blood. So I just want the prince to learn more about that and allow myself and anybody else who wishes to learn about our ancestors be able to do so.
Is this a religion that you share with the other Lysander? Do you know? I mean, you're not... Is this a
Not
Lysander
every
thing?
not every Lysander does, and I will say there are of course some assumptions made about our church that, you know, it's something that originates from Sabbat, but I'll have you know it's completely different. So you don't have to worry about that.
Not Sabbat.
But I'm sure there are other kindred within the city that do feel the way that I do.
Okay.
Anyway, I just feel that if I'm doing all of this digging and insight into Sierra, an audience with the prince is good. I could request that and, wait in the queue of 6 to 7 months. That I could do by myself. But if I get the audience and then have just a little bit of a backing from the Lysanders, that would make all the difference.
Willow would give a slight nod to Dorian, like, as in she's fine with offering that.
Okay. Yeah, sure. But I do want to learn more about this religion before we have that meeting.
Well, I will be sure to give you the full rundown at some point. For now, let me see what I can do with Sierra. I'm sure a nice dinner between the two of us, I can get the information you're looking for. Let's meet up here again at this bar, then, since you found me here. I don't know how you did, but let's meet up here again in a couple weeks' time. And I'll let you know what information I got.
All right.
Okay.
Enjoy your drinks. Whatever you're doing here.
Thanks. If you want to stay for the band, they'll be here another hour or so.
Dorian looks around, a little nervously. No, I'm good. I got things to do.
Okay. She smiles, twirls her hair again. And the two of you leave. With a deal made in the shadows. And you head back for the evening as the night comes to an end. And we head to the next night, where you all must make another rouse check for the next evening, as you accomplished quite a bit the night before. And we head to a new evening for our siblings. Go ahead and roll your rouse checks.
Fail, 2 hunger.
Okay.
I fail 3.
Okay.
I also failed, so I am at a 5.
You are at a 5.
Brother!
You didn't feed last night?
I didn't say it, so it didn't happen. I was actually gonna say I was actually going to go and feed, but I didn't say that was the idea. That's why I didn't stay.
I see. See, okay.
But I do have a specific feeding type, so I understand. Maybe I couldn't find someone.
Yes, your driver before you went to Willow's had asked if you wanted to make any other stops, and I was assuming that would have been your time to feed. But
fool.
You didn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
So, in this next night, at Hunger 5, Dorian, you need to feed right now.
Immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
You find the first person that you can find this evening. You go to work. You had to every night. The first thing you do when you rouse is you go check on Vital before everybody leaves to go home for the evening, like 7-8 o'clock. As you head into Vital, roll me a resolve and composure.
That is 6 successes, but it is a
Messy crit.
a messy crit. Yeah.
A messy critical?
Yes.
Okay. Dorian. I'm sorry.
Don't. Oh no.
You walk into your building for the evening, biomedical group. And the first person you see is your secretary, Shannon McCarthy.
Wait, I thought you said
No.
McCarthy was Ethos's, not Dorian's.
She's vital.
No, she's vital.
Oh.
You see Shannon at the front desk. And she, as always, typing at her computer, looks up at you. Good evening, sir. And Dorian, your hunger, it cannot be controlled at this point. Now, at 5 hunger, you're at least enough in your own sorts with that resolve composure. You're not about to grab her right now in the middle of the office. But you're messy
she
because it's
usually,
messy.
She usually has some reports that she gives me. She takes me to my office. We go over the agenda, and so I assume that I would try to keep it together as we walk to the office, and she's telling me those reports, and I just feel this beast rising inside me, and all I can focus on is the sound of her heartbeat that just sounds louder than anything I've ever heard in my life.
And this night, when she walks into your office, the two of you begin talking. You dim all of the windows in your office as she goes through everything. And with a messy critical, you can't wait any longer. You move in to feed.
Yeah, as she's showing me some numbers and she's like leaning over the desk, I would be unable to resist the hunger, and I would grab her and pull her to me as she's leaning over, and she would like lose balance, and I would push her onto the desk and feed from her, and I'm sure, just completely losing control, just blood streaming down my chin, and
Yes.
yeah.
And because you are at 5 hunger, you do have to resist a frenzy.
Okay.
So, you're going to have to roll me a willpower test, which is once again, you go to willpower. You click on willpower, and at the top, you should be able to hit roll willpower. And you need at least 3 successes.
Three successes.
Okay. 3 successes. You resist your deepest desire right now, which is to drain her dry so you can fully sate your hunger. That beast, it tells you to keep going and going and going, but you stop. You can sate 2 dots of hunger for feeding on Shannon, and you take enough blood for her where she is very woozy and she faints in your office.
Okay. Shit, there's a big mess. So she's unconscious.
He's unconscious in your office. And in these situations, Dorian, you would normally call Marcus, and he would be able to take care of it.
Well, I'm not calling Marty.
Might can ask Lucas.
Yeah.
It's the best we got.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Lucas.
You call
Yeah.
Lucas, and you take him to go take care of it. And Willow, for you this evening, you call up Lucas, and Lucas informs you that he is going to help your brother with something.
What's he doing?
He just said he needed me at the office immediately, and it sounded urgent.
Okay, will you go ahead and do that? But also, I'm gonna be talking to him about this. One moment. Wait, I can just call him.
You reach out to Dorian
Yeah.
at the office.
She calls Shannon McCarthy.
I call Shannon.
You call Shannon, and it rings and rings and rings.
God, that motherfucker. Taking Lucas, not even answer. What the fuck? Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
Lucas eventually arrives, Dorian, and helps you take care of the mess, helps you take care of the blood mess. He takes
I
you...
had what did Jacques call it? A whoopsie-daisy.
Oopsie daisy. Well, thankfully it didn't quite get to that level, but look, I will take care of it. I will make sure that she gets to the infirmary here at the office, and she had a rough night last night and fainted. I will take care of it. Don't worry. And
Okay.
he cleans things up for you, Dorian. It's a close call. You realize this could have been a lot worse. It's a problem you may have to deal with at some point. Explain to Shannon, and she's not going to remember what happened, of course, but you passed out, something happened, you go through the whole story. Oop, I froze. Okay, I'm back. And
Dorian paces the room as Lucas cleans up and gets everything settled, and he's just continuing to spiral.
And as Dorian, you sit in your office thinking about all these things. Willow, you stay at your home without your driver, without your ghoul. Silas,
Yes.
you rouse for this evening with this new information that you received.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do for this evening?
Silas was gonna go try to find Malort,
Lord.
who he
Yes.
forgets what her real first name was.
Michaela.
Michaela, yes.
Yes, you have the first name. So it's going to take a bit of digging.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to roll me a intelligence medicine investigation. Intelligence investigation. Yes. Yes.
Not
doing a
as
bit of
strong, but
you're doing some investigating.
six successes.
6 successes. It takes a bit of digging and looking around through all of the hospital records, through many computers. You do eventually find where this Michaela, actually, I think I have her last name somewhere. You find where she is being held in critical condition still here at the hospital. You find what room number that she's located in, and she is still being cared for here at the hospital.
Would that be strange since she's a ghoul? Or is getting shot in the head still very
It's still pretty mortal wound for her.
Mhm.
So, though she may be able to heal quicker, this could maybe that shot could have killed her, or it could have, she is still recovering, but she may
Got it.
recover faster than the average person for sure.
Got it. Okay. He wanted to find that out. And is she at Rush? Is she being treated at Rush?
She is being treated at Rush.
Silas would go to work.
Okay. You head into work for the evening. What is it that you're looking to do at work? Anything?
He will go and see who's the on-call doctor for Michaela. Since his specialty is ER trauma injuries. She's probably somewhere in the ICU if she's in critical condition, so it's probably not weird that he's there. And he will just go check up on her.
As you head into her room, you see Michaela Malort laying there, and she is still, from what you gather, unconscious. And reading the reports, it's been about 5 or 6 days now that she's been out, and still stable, as she can be. Her vitals still reading everything good, but she is not conscious.
Silas will walk up to one of the side tables, grab a scalpel, cut his palm, and drip blood into her mouth.
Oh. Okay. You do that. You feed her some of your vitae. And as you do, it doesn't take long. Eventually, her eyes open. She gets her bearings. Her eyes dart around the room. She looks at you, the doctor.
Michaela, can you hear me? Good.
See her gently nod her head.
Do you know what day it is? Okay, you were in an accident. What's the last thing you remember? Can you speak?
And she speaks. Yeah. Last thing I remember I was at work. I was at the office, the hotel, the lobby. I was waiting. Then somebody came up and shot me. I saw blood on the ground. Then I was out, and then I saw lights, ambulance. I saw the stretcher. That's all I remember.
No, that's very good, very good. Do you remember who shot you?
She thinks for a minute. Him. It was the rich Lysander. Dorian, he was with the girl. Forget her name. I was taking them to see her. He said something. He told me that he wanted to see her, and I just took him to her office.
Dorian Lysander. Do you remember who the woman was?
She was beautiful, dark hair, long dress, big slit on the side. She just she was really pretty.
No, that is very helpful. Thank you. Can I get you anything?
I'm like, and she like goes to her throat. It's like so dry. And am I allowed to like have a drink of water?
I can get you some ice.
Thank you.
I'll be back.
What was your name?
Dr. Lysander.
You say that? And you can see her eyes just suddenly, the pupils just get small. And you can hear the beeping of the EKG or whatever it is. I don't know what they're called. Just go faster and faster when you say that name.
Relax. I am an actual doctor. I am not going to harm you. Michaela.
Lysander.
Correct.
You're related?
Brother. Now.
Your brother shot me. And you
And
hear the beeping go beep, beep,
and
beep,
I
beep,
just saved your life. And he'll hold up a palm. I imagine it's already healing.
beep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. All right. Just, okay. So you're not going to hurt me, but you
No.
brought me back.
Yes.
Why did your brother do that?
Sierra, you work for her, correct?
Yeah. Been working for her for years.
Sierra had, let's call it, cursed one of our family ghouls. My brother can get a little hot-headed from time to time, cursing one of our ghouls, shooting you point blank in the head. I don't think they're equivalent.
No, I was there when it happened, what she did to that guy.
To Lucas. His name was Lucas. Is Lucas. He's
Yeah.
fine now. I fixed him. I'm getting pretty good at fixing things.
Okay, so your brother shot me because he was pissed off about what she did.
To Lucas, yes.
Okay, well, can we call it even then and you just leave me alone?
We can call it even there. Would you want to answer a couple questions since I just saved your life?
Guess it depends on the questions, but go ahead.
I really only have a couple. What is my father and Sierra planning?
He just like shakes her head. They're just working an alliance, a Camarilla thing or whatever. They just want to show that the Ventrue and the Lysander can work together in more ways than one. He's a powerful Ventrue. She's the face of the Lysander in the city. It's just a play.
Who wins at the end of this play?
Hopefully, both of them. Mutually beneficial.
Is there anything I should know? Any question I'm maybe wouldn't dare to ask? Anything you feel that I should be aware of?
You're really asking me that?
Yes.
I don't know what you want from me, Dr. Lysander. I appreciate you saving my life. I do.
You've served Sierra for years, correct?
Yes.
Would you call your relationship close?
Yeah.
When you get out of here, make sure you let her know what I did. Because obviously she hasn't been here to take care of you.
We don't know that. She could have been visiting me every night for all you know.
Still.
Fine, I will let her know. As thanks for saving me.
And let's keep that little thing with Dorian and the beautiful woman between us. Just so you don't remember.
I don't remember what happened.
Have a good night, Michaela.
You as well, Doctor.
And
Thank
Silas will take his leave.
Okay. You take your leave. And I would say, for the sake of Dory, I assume the three of you would like to convene as siblings. Unless for some reason any of you are avoiding each other, that is also fine.
No?
But I would assume a coterie family meeting would be in order. As
Sure.
things have happened, catching up. So, Silas, Dorian, Willow, the three of you arrange to meet one of your usual spots. One of the clubs, the private areas. Silas, actually, Willow, you probably, for the first time, are one of the first to arrive for the evening. Waiting for your brothers. It's not usual for that to happen. Usually you're the late one, and Silas is the prompt one. But this evening, Dorian, you show up next. And then another 30 minutes after, Silas, you arrive. Willow, you're kept waiting. Dorian arrives with Lucas.
You're gonna have to start using Marty.
Who's
I
Marty?
don't trust Marty.
Well, you're not taking my ghoul.
I'm just borrowing him. Temporarily. I'm sorry.
Temporarily, you got him for
We'll
the
get
night.
Marcus back and this won't matter anymore, right?
Who's Marty?
You got
Temporary
it.
driver.
Since we're on that subject, Michaela's awake.
Who?
The...
Sierra's ghoul.
yeah.
Hmm.
She agreed to forget what she saw. And I made sure that she lets Sierra know that I healed her. Hopefully this will remedy a bit of the situation. She didn't have much info, unfortunately. It's not like Marcus or Lucas knows every little bit of what's going on between us. No offense, Lucas. Just her and Dad are in some sort of Camarilla alliance to show that the Lysander and Ventrue can work together.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it that if they're taking down family portraits.
What do you mean? What family portrait?
You know that giant, huge one over the mantelpiece? Or under the mantle in the
Yeah.
at home?
Yeah, of course.
The portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dad had it stashed in the basement. It's
In
not
the
up there
basement?
anymore. Yeah, in the catacomb thing.
Catacomb thing.
Our did Silas not know about the catacombs?
None of us did, right? You said Dorian's never been down there.
I thought this was the thing that
Yeah.
I snuck into.
It
No,
is
that
the
was
place that you. No, you snuck into
A weapons
We know
room.
about it though because
Oh.
because Willow went in there, right?
Willow went in a different secret area in your
A
house.
different secret room in our house.
Yeah, there's catacombs. What are you talking about?
Apparently there's
Yeah.
catacombs.
Actually, yeah, you don't know what the fuck the catacombs are.
Yeah, that's what. It never came up after like yeah. You-
There's multiple. Look, there's multiple secret locations in your family home. Okay?
Clearly.
Dorian was just
Well,
like
it was
heard about
stashed
the
downstairs.
catacombs and was just like, oh yeah, catacombs. That makes
Well,
sense.
that makes sense.
Let me in the catacombs.
Yes, the vampire dad house has a catacombs.
catacombs.
That's
Right.
pretty suspect. But you only rolled a 1 on your wits and awareness, Dorian, so it just looked like the extra storage room for you.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he took down the portrait, so I doubt it's just that. Or she did.
Okay.
I just I'm still confused. She hates our family, but they want an alliance together. Is this I don't understand.
Does she hate our family or does she hate Mom?
What's there to hate at this point?
I mean, Dad did what Dad did as redemption. Just like how the Lysander have to bring someone to heal to join the Camarilla, maybe that's his penance, was taking care of Mom. Maybe she sees him as more because he did that. She can relate to it.
Oh, you think she actually likes him?
I don't
A
know.
little bit.
I don't. You would have to spend this much time around him. You would have to at least
God,
enjoy
but who
something
would?
about him.
He's got money.
He has power. Don't deny that.
Yeah.
As much as Dorian likes to flaunt it, he is more powerful than you.
Yeah. He's just older. Comes with the territory.
It comes with time.
Yeah. But you could go to any old Ventrue for that, could you not? Though I guess our family has something different.
Mom killed her sire.
Why did Mom choose the people that she chose?
I don't know. She never told me. She never told any of us.
If maybe there's a reason she killed him or killed them. Mom always said that it was to protect us, did she not, when we were in
Correct.
that dining room?
Yes.
So maybe. I don't know. It's all theories anyway, but.
She did it to get stronger.
For a
That's
reason,
it.
right?
For us.
To protect us from
I
what's
get it.
coming, what's been on our minds the last, 6 months? Since
To
Greece?
protect us from Dad. From Jacques. And God knows whatever else is going to come at us next, but
He was hoping to fight them when the time came, maybe.
I understand it.
I mean,
I get it.
So, our church problem is taken care of.
Yeah, I did see something on the news there. You left a survivor.
I didn't see the news. Wasn't aware of that.
Oh. Yeah, I thought shoot, I thought that would have made its way to you. I mean, they're at your hospital.
Good to know.
did they find anything while they were there? Anyone?
No, they're just calling it a gas explosion, I think.
It's over then?
That was their base of operations. Like Dorian said, there is a survivor, Willow, so maybe if they are... Maybe Dorian can make them talk.
Yeah. That would be nice.
I have to make good on my deal.
What's your deal?
With Deuceable.
No.
Or with for the geez. My brain, I'm sorry. For the park, for the field, right?
No, Dorian. Think harder.
What deal?
You
Yeah, I
two were
don't-
with me when I had my jaw ripped off.
Oh, with Fen. I don't remember that deal.
Yeah, that wasn't a deal.
I was a
You
little
ripped your
traumatized
jaw off.
by your jaw falling off.
Well, they did what I asked.
And what did you promise in return?
Caden.
What are you?
How are you gonna do that?
Yeah,
So-
what? Hold on here. You are seriously going to consider helping Garu? Like, it's one thing to plot against another kindred, but for this, I mean, you're gonna risk everything for this?
I just have to tell them where he is. Maybe make an innocent meeting.
I mean, that's not hard.
That's all?
Do you want me to hide in the chantry for the next 100 years until they all die?
Hold on. I mean, I recall. What did he? He used very specific words, didn't he?
Oh, I have a
On
letter.
a platter.
Yes.
And I guess for you, Dorian, that confirms that it was the wolves. Silas is speaking like this job is done. Oh, thanks for the raid. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Hey,
Your brother is being a bit elusive here. He's like, oh, the church is taken care of. You saw it in the news, but there's no confirmation that that was the wolves. So he's saying the wolves need Caden, but you don't actually technically have proof, at least not that you know of, that your brother is being a bit elusive about this.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna blow up over the same thing over and over again, Silas. I mean, we have to work together here. But what is the end game with the Garu? What are you really planning here? Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
What do you mean? The hunters took Thea. They took Adder. You just gonna let him get away with it? We had someone do our dirty work for us.
I appreciate it.
Mhm. And look, you know,
And here you go again, defending Caden, your best buddy.
everything comes at a cost. You know, we hire out services for people to do our dirty work, you know, but was it worth it?
Was what worth it? Getting revenge? Absolutely.
If every
You're-
single hunter is dead,
you're-
it's worth it.
You're one to talk, Mr. I want to kill Dad every day because I need to.
It's a completely different situation, Silas.
How?
Why? Because we're working to take steps to make sure we're protected when that happens.
And killing the hunters
making
is
sure
not
that
protecting us? They've already taken 2 kindred. More.
Mhm.
They destroyed the Anarchs.
And when you betray Caden, and the prince happens to find out, when someone has you and they have your blood, Silas, and they use blood magic, or they dominate you and they ask you to tell what are your secrets, what secrets you have inside of you, what are they going to find out, Silas? And then what? Because when we take out Dad, we're gonna get rewarded for it. Because we set it in the work. We made the deal happen. That's how business works. But the deal that you made, Silas, you haven't calculated the costs. You haven't run the numbers.
I'm still a man of my word. So if you want to go run to Caden and warn him, be my guest.
No.
Willow, am I speaking in tongues here, or... Please, back me up.
No, you're not. You're not. But I'm biased because obviously I hate the hunters.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't have gotten help, or that it's not a good thing that we're not being hunted by that group of psychopaths. But I don't think that was a good move. I don't think it was worth it. There
Already
had to have
done.
been other ways.
You've always been the businessman.
Look, I'm not gonna tell Caden. I don't want to work against this family anymore. On purpose or otherwise.
Especially when Dad already has said that we've made our choice. Caden was already supposed to meet with me for getting me that custom piece of jewelry. Use that.
You could. You'd probably have to take a lick or two to make it look authentic.
That's fine.
It's gonna fuck up everything.
We'll just have to deal with it when it does.
I can't be involved. I gave my word. But I'm not gonna stop whatever plan you have.
Okay.
Don't tell me about it. Or at least any more about it.
We'll figure it out when the time comes.
Yeah.
We will.
Anything else?
The room remains a bit quiet
Yeah.
for the three of them. And perhaps intentionally, some things not shared amongst the siblings.
As usual.
All three of them. This time, it's not just one, it's not just two, but all three. And the family meeting, perhaps, gets cut a little short, as that's all the updates, unless anybody has any other updates they need to share.
I don't think so.
Anything?
No,
I don't think there's
don't need
anything
to.
nothing important.
Nothing
really.
important really happens.
Yeah,
so.
right.
Understood. Nope, that's totally fine. I was just checking to make sure. And it's left at that. The understanding is that this hunter situation has been dealt with, and the reports say what happened, but now you understand that it was the Garu that took care of the situation. Silas shares that information with you all. And you all take your leave for the evening. And I think that's where we're going to stop for the evening. And we will return. There is still some business that needs to be taken care of. Players, I know I mentioned that we would have a time skip, but I think I'm going to wrap up a few other things here. Close a few loose ends of some of the things that we've learned. Hey, thanks for the raid. Welcome, as we're slowly coming to our conclusion.
Yep.
Welcome in,
always.
everybody.
Hi, Ian.
This do how it be at the end of the night. Hi, Ian. The kindred just learned that the Garu took care of business on
Thank you for
Monday.
taking care of our problems. We love
Taking
you.
care of business.
Business. The people who
Thank you.
get shit done. When we return for our next session, we're going to wrap a few of these loose ends here of some of the things that have been discussed this evening. A few of these little strings that have been unraveled. We're going to wrap them in a little bow the following week. And then after that, I'll let you all know, audience, there's going to be a bit of time that passes, and some things are going to be moving in motion. So next week, or not next week, but our next session is going to involve wrapping some of those loose ends, and then some big things are happening. That's all I can say. That's all I can say from the Storyteller POV, but I just want to give you guys the insight on where we're going. So, sorry. When we return, that we'll see what our Lysanders are able to solve with some of these things that they've opened up here. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But that's all for this evening, as we see perhaps we'll be able to retrieve our dear Marcus once and for all, and perhaps we'll be able to make some statements among the city, and perhaps we'll be able to get our Tremere friend back. But for now, that'll be for another evening. So thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with us. We'll be back on Tuesday, or we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll be back tomorrow night for a casual stream. We're going to be hanging out and playing some Marvel Rivals, the Magi fam. We won't be TTRPGing. We're just going to hang out and play some games together. So if you want to hang out with us tomorrow night around 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be playing Marvel Rivals. Or you can join us for our next TTRPG, which is going to be Tuesday for our Scum and Villainy game, which is Ignite Recall. And we'll keep you all updated on when the next Ancestral Blood is, which may be Friday the 14th, but we may have a pre-recording of it. So we'll keep you informed. Join our Discord, discord.gg/magirpg, to see when we are going to be back for our next episode of Ancestral Blood. But in the meantime, hope you all have a good weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us. And as always, don't let the beast win. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. See ya.
Bye.